George Floyd was a 46-year-old man born in Fayetteville, North Carolina. On May 25, 2020, George Floyd was murdered in Minneapolis, Minnesota by Derek Chauvin, a 44-year-old police officer. Floyd was arrested after a store clerk alleged that Floyd made a purchasing using a counterfeit $20 bill. Chauvin and two other police officers had knelt on Floyd's neck for over 9 minutes while Floyd was handcuffed and laying face down in the street. Two other police officers, J. Alexander Quang and Thomas Lane, assisted Chauvin in restraining Floyd. Lane had also pointed a gun at Floyd's head prior to Floyd being put in handcuffs. A fourth police officer, Tao Dao, prevented bystanders from intervening. Floyd exhibited many signs of anxiety and having complained about claustrophobia and the inability to breathe. After being restrained, he became more distressed, still complaining of breathing difficulties and the knee on his neck and the fear of imminent death. He was killed on scene, and Chauvin was convicted of unintentional second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter, and was sentenced to 22.5 years in prison on June 25th. People in the area caught a glimpse of what was happening and began to record the events taking place. Floyd was heard saying that he couldn't breathe while the officer continued to nail on his neck for minutes without any response from Floyd. This sparked a huge upbringing in what we know now as the Black Lives Matter movement. People rioted the streets with signs honoring Floyd. Most of the world was on their feet standing up against police brutality and the corrupt people in the police department, especially white officers who had been killing innocent black civilians. This movement is still very much alive today, even though it may not be as prominent as it was just over 2 years ago. This event has impacted everyone throughout the United States to stand up and take on the issue of racial injustice and police brutality. It has also caused many African Americans to be more cautious when faced by specifically white police officers, whether it be getting pulled over or seeing them on the street in general. The protests also caused a lot of violence and problems throughout the United States. This topic is very important to know now because it has impacted everyone around the United States to speak up on racial injustice and has made more people aware about police brutality. These problems have been a big issue in the last couple years. The murder of George Floyd will not be forgotten and has given all Americans the opportunity to speak up about the problems racial injustice causes in the United States.